Okay. Let's watch the anti-racist camp Republicans can't ban.
If you primarily studied the culture of your ancestors in elementary school, take a step forward.
If your ancestors were forced to come to the United States, not by choice, take a step backwards.
So this is what they call a privilege line, and they ask a series of questions about how you may be privileged in life. And if you can see towards the front, it's mostly white male. In the back, it's mostly black women.
If you do not have to think about race and racism every day, take a step forward.
What the fuck is this, dude?
Anytown, where we found our common ground.
This is Anytown Leadership Camp. Atop a mountain in Arizona, detached from the distractions of the world, there's no horseback riding, creek swimming, or lake fishing. These young folks are here to lean into conversations most people try to stay away from. Conversations around race, diversity, and privilege.
Or has an idea of what prejudice is.
Anytown Camp. What exactly is this thing?
So sometimes described as like a human relations camp, a leadership camp. We're talking about kind of all the isms. So we'll focus on racism, sexism, ableism, but then we're also focusing on...
Bro, I don't know. I mean, people are going to get mad at me for this, but like, I kind of don't feel like this is a successful way to like de-radicalize people or fucking, you know, create an entire generation of like anti-racists. Am I crazy? Like, I don't think this is successful. It's just, it's so strange. It's definitely not scalable, but also, like, did this work for anybody? I don't know. Maybe maybe there were some people there. This is neoliberal echo chamber camp. It was very successful. I went. It was very successful. Me, bitch. Really? No cap. I went to this senior year of high school. I went to this. Actually helped me be less homophobic. Damn. Okay. That's cool. All right. I guess it did. But I feel like it's so minor, dude.
On like, how do you have a productive conversation?
Anytown has been stirring young minds in Arizona since the 50s. It was started by the National Coalition of Christians and Jews, an organization wanting to rid the world of bigotry.
Ban me now? Wait, why? Why would I ban you? What the fuck?
Now, there are dozens of Anytowns across America, but they all operate independently.
Hey girl, do your thing and switch.
Here in Arizona, campers pay up to $500 to spend the week talking about these controversial issues.
But does it do any harm? I feel like it's still useful to the small amount of people that do go. Yeah, no, probably if there's one person that's fucking turned from this.
Check out the start of this video where a based high school kid educates his debate class on the Civil War flag.
You have ever been in a
Also
situation
my favorite exchange.
Breaking Twitch streamer Hasanabi says homophobia is minor. No, I'm saying that like there might be some people that are susceptible to having their attitudes changed about certain things or re-examine privileges that they have. But I also feel like, you know, it's probably not the, it's probably not like, I mean, maybe there's studies on it. I don't know. Probably not like the common thing.
You were with someone saying something like racist, homophobic, just something hateful, and you were like frozen in that moment and had no idea what to do.
Matt Case is an Arizona public school teacher. And one
okay, I take it back. That part, you guys want to know what fucking I think de-radicalizes people? I'm not like a professional at this stuff at all, okay? I don't know anything about educating children, even though I do fucking educate 30,000 kids every day to the best of my ability. But you know what I personally think is like really fucking helpful with de-radicalizing people or like showing them their privileged blind spots, as I like to say?
Racism is bad, happy 10 months.
Being honest about their fucking bigotry. Like in a safe environment, people from a diverse background, like a group of individuals from every fucking marginalized identity, getting together and being honest about the fucking bigotry that they, one, have experienced, but also they themselves have fucking thought or have done. I think that's supremely important in like rehabilitation, I guess. Just say with your chest, no, 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 no. It's like what I do. There are, I can't say this with a fact. I don't know. I can't say this for a fact. I don't know if this is real or not. But there are so many people in this community that probably held on to like a lot of transphobic opinions, and they've heard me talk a million times over about how I used to say transphobic shit, okay, or had transphobia, okay, that I was a transphobic person. That probably makes them more comfortable with saying like, well, that guy changed his attitude. That's why like having someone like myself from a privileged background does help with respect to de-radicalizing people. Because like some people are fearful that there's this attitude among progressive groups that like you can never ever fucking do wrong, or if you've ever done a bad thing,
10 months
that means like you're a bad person across the board. Like if you ever held on to a bigoted point of view, we're not going to examine the social conditioning that factors into that. That just means you're individually a bad person. And I feel like for people, getting over that hump is genuinely hard. So I also feel like having this conversation in a diverse environment where people show you like, look, there's a lot of people that have bigoted opinions. You know, having like a black person there demonstrate that they themselves are maybe transphobic. You know what I mean? While the white person's like, I've had some racist thoughts. Like that is a shared experience where people recognize like, oh yeah, everyone has some like fucking flaws and it's all good. Like we should learn from them and become better. You feel me?
One of the camp's 3 directors, but he first came to Anytown as a camper at 17.
When I first started, like in the 90s, I think we had a very, like almost a little bit of a colorblind approach. And so what's changed there is like, we're gonna take a look at white privilege. We're gonna take a look at-
your attitude on your past transphobia helped me move on with my past transphobia. You recognize it and move forward, not feedback loop to it. I think the most de-radicalizing has to come through organic exposure, like the godson of David Duke, who became friends with the Jewish. Yeah, Derek Black. Derek Black, whose father literally is like a foundational person in like the modern American Nazi movement, would go, the son of a fucking rabbi, I think, at his school that he went to in college, would literally bring him to Shabbat dinners. Like over and over again. And that exposure, but that's why I said it has to be a diverse environment. Because like segregation is so fucking bad, dude. Hot take. Hot take, folks. But segregation is so abhorrent and so bad. And we still have super segregated communities in America right now. Both in the remnants of the Jim Crow South and also in the fucking Jim Crow North. Like in contemporary American society, there's still a fuckload of segregation. It's couched within class lines, as it historically has always, but there's still absolutely like the racial segregation on top of that. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, look to every fucking urban environment even, and you will recognize that. Name a city and I'll name you the Red Line Street. That's a fucking trick question. It's MLK Street or MLK Boulevard or Avenue. literally universal. Straight up. How do you feel about American college bringing back black segregation at black students' request? Yeah, no, that's not what's going on. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me stop you right there. Marginalized groups want a safe environment for themselves so they can have a fucking brief solace from the constant fucking feedback that they're getting about how they're somehow wrong. Where like every moment, every conversation they have to have also has to have like a fuckload of precursory information that they have to give to the other person to, in a lot of instances, explain their humanity to someone who does not see them as such. Okay? That's all that is. That's not a problem.
Hassle.
It's a fucking tiny, minor thing. Okay? Quit trying to justify self-segregation. It's not a real concept. It's literally not real. There are people who are like, oh yeah, I'm a black separatist. Like, yeah, okay, 12 people, okay? Not serious. Stop. You sound literally good kind of segregation. Yeah, it's like saying fucking getting vaccinated or going to quarantine is segregation. Yeah, a good kind of segregation. Not everything has to be fucking wrong. Looking for a singular safe space in a college campus so you don't have to fucking literally, so you can like escape. Like if you're a trans person, it's the greatest example of this. If you're a trans person, going to college and recognizing that you yourself are actually trans, despite that the fact that like you probably had a lot of internalized transphobia as a consequence of how powerful and how pervasive transphobia is and how normative that position is. A safe space provides a sense of community where you can actually learn in an environment where you're not around people who literally will be like, oh, you're trans, you're a fucking dude. Like, fuck you. Oh, you're trans, there's something wrong with you. You understand? That's what it offers. And it's impossible, dude. It is literally fucking impossible for you to comprehend if you don't have any of those, like, marginalizations. It's impossible for you to comprehend. You will never, ever understand this. Okay? You just won't. Because you're, unfortunately, I hate to tell this to you, is pretty privileged. Like, most spaces are safe for you. You know what I mean? Especially if you're like a white dude. And I'm saying this from my own perspective. Like, I'm a fucking white dude. Okay? Every space is safe for me. That's why when people come in here, they're like, oh, you sand N-word or whatever every now and then, you Muslim terrorist, whatever. It doesn't really fucking impact me. It doesn't really bother me. That's whatever. But ultimately, like, people don't come in here and they're like, they can't use anything that's like a pejorative against me. You know what I mean? Like any of the characteristics that I have can't really be used as a way to attack me or criticize me in the way that so many people have my entire life. That's the everyday existence of anyone that is a marginalized person. Gay bars, historically black colleges, religious organizations on campuses are not exclusionary. They're inclusionary and create a space to see and connect with people who have similar experiences. Yes. Without having to defend your existence from fucking dumbass debate lords that want to be like, I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. It's like, dude, sometimes you don't want to have a conversation. Sometimes you just want to fucking relax. And you have that privilege. You can always relax because no one is like, your whiteness is offensive or whatever the fuck.
Almost
or when people do say that, it's like completely powerless and fucking silly, and you can move on. You know what I mean? You're not going to go to the bank and they're going to be like, you're white, so you're not getting a fucking bank loan. Or you're not going to fucking, be able to, you're not going to get denied a job opportunity in a similar capacity. I know a lot of white dudes will be like, what the fuck? Diversity initiatives have made it impossible. It's like, yeah, I know. That's why it's still like, 70%, 79% of like fucking all higher level positions are still filled by white dudes. Okay? And that's the reason for safe spaces. And they are ultimately harmless. It's like a fucking area that you can go to once a week or some shit. Like, most people that cry about safe spaces have never been inside one, and they've only heard about it from reactionary ass anti-SJW idiots who literally cannot stop thinking about black people existing and trans people existing. Like, they literally just cannot stop. They're just that's all they talk about. Okay. Bad Empanada, invite me on the stream now. No, bitch. What a take. Anyway. That's why I always say
Keep up the good
that, like, my
coverage.
Discord, for
Thumbs
example,
up.
is not a fully safe space. You're gonna encounter things that you might not want to hear. What? Is calling all white people racist marginalizing white people's experience? Yeah, banks don't fucking turn away anyone else either. Stop lying. Maybe because most people in the US are white. The world is not a safe space. Dude, you are a 4-month subscriber. Has been following since 2019. Are you all right, dude? What happened? Did your fucking brother take over your account or something? You chatters are fucking idiots, and so is not. Maybe it's not misinformation, you fucking idiot, bro. I was prescribed ivermectin as a face cream. You are the one spreading misinformation, fucked hard. Oh my god. Oh, this is like, this has got to be like a fucking, this is my most loyal hate watcher, I think.
Love you, Hassie. Chat you back a Panoko.
I have literally been told that all white people are racist, and that is a core belief of CRT. My god, dude. That is not a fucking, what the fuck are you saying, dude? He's completely right about what he said. You're spreading information about the vaccine and its effects on the top of the hour ad break. No, the only fucking vaccine for the top of the hour ad break that's coming right now, because it's $3.57, is a $5 a month subscription or a Twitch Prime or an ad block or a VPN. Those are the only methods that you can successfully 100% with 100% efficacy avoid the top of the hour ad break that's coming right now.
Turkish-American.
Okay. Dude, I wonder why this dude has been watching for so long. Like, he's like routinely in the chat. Kind of interesting. He makes fun of conservatives, I guess, from time to time. I really want to dive into this dude's mind for a second. Like, what the fuck's going on here? He's like a Ludwig fan, too. Ludwig is like more of a lib than me when it comes to social issues. Here's the ad break now, by the way. The world is not a safe space? Dude, that is such a fucking idiotic take. I know that, dumbass. So why not fucking create like at least a singular moment for people to fucking breathe if they want to? I hate that. Like, I hate that take. It's such a dumb take, dude. That's the whole point. Like, I love when this is such a painfully white take. The world is not a safe space. It's like, what, you think black people don't know that, you fucking idiot? You think black people are gonna like have like a fucking gathering, okay, once a week? Or you think like gay people and trans people are gonna have a gathering once a week at like a fucking safe space? And then all of a sudden they're gonna forget like the many years of bullying and homophobia and transphobia that they fucking endured? Like, what a dumb take, dude. You have to be you have to literally exist in a situation that is already incredibly fucking privileged to be able to have such a take like this and assume that it's profound.
Transgender pride, transgender pride, transgender pride.
He just resubscribed? I didn't see it. One of those guys that thinks it makes Americans soft, LMFAO. Yeah, dude. When I think about hardened Americans, I think of conservatives who fucking literally have an aneurysm when someone says Allah instead of God, when they recite like the fucking Pledge of Allegiance or some shit at a high school graduation. That's what I think of. I think of like, you know, the peak of strength, okay, and masculinity is hogs that fucking lose their shit when a corporation in very transparently capitalist interests say like, yeah, for 1 month alone, we're just gonna fucking, you know, be as gay as we can. And in that sense, like, they're not even fucking leather daddies all of a sudden, but they just have like a fucking rainbow flag all over their shit. And conservatives are like, what the fuck? Why can't I have that 1 month also be straight pride? Where's my straight pride? It's like, dude, that's literally, you are the fucking softest baby butter bullshit.
Yee.
At like how that plays out through different identities, right?
That phrase, tip of the iceberg, there's identity that people see, but then there's identity that's deeper.
Why are you here at Anytown Camp?
I think at first I just signed up because I thought it was going to be like leadership, and with that, like, I want to go into business, so I thought that'd be good for me.
Actually, my Spanish teacher told me it was like this leadership camp and I could come here to get 50 service hours, which was like my main reason to come.
So you came here for the service hours?
Yeah.
Well, I'm here mostly because of my mother, who had signed me up for this camp, and I accepted that decision, and now I'm here.
My mom, and she told me, but like a couple of nights before, and I didn't want to come, but she packed my bag for me.
Like most camps, you got workshops, games, and activities, but these activities are designed to have campers engage some of America's most sensitive topics. There's dialogue instead of debate.
When your actions are hurting or negatively affecting someone else, is that when you should be canceled? Is that what you're saying?
There's some role play.
I mean, it's just a compliment. Like, I want your skin color. Like, it's beautiful.
And there's a lot of listening.
A large part of this Anytown camp is making space for individuals and groups to be heard. And right now they're getting prepared for what they call a fishbowl, where groups will sit here in the middle, have a conversation, while people on the outside just shut up and listen.
Today we're going to be practicing deep listening.
What does it mean to be black?
It's a part of us, but it's not all we are.
We're expected to be strong and able to handle everything, but being a black person, I don't necessarily feel like I always have the right to be more sensitive.
It's like an unspoken understanding that we all have. But as someone who grew up hearing constantly that I wasn't black enough, it does make me think, well, what am I supposed to be?
The fishbowl is like being under the real-time anthropological gaze of other folks. They're a fly on the wall in the living room, barbershop, and beauty salon. And when it's not objectifying, it can work.
Love you. Love this community.
I'm not texting. I have to order. My mom's birthday today, chat. I'm listening, but I have to order food.
Pride Parent.
Midweek, campers break into small groups based on shared experiences like race or sexual orientation, and they talk about what ties them together. Later in the evening, there's culture night. It's like identity show and tell, where you present your culture to the camp through skits, discussion, and audience interaction.
So the things that bind us together in the LionX community are our celebrations, dance, and music.
Language, it's very tonal. For example, bang, welcome.
That's who farted in Vietnamese.
Where are you from?
Oh, from Arizona.
No, but like, what part of China are you from?
Well, I'm not Chinese. I'm half Hispanic, half Vietnamese.
Oh.
What the fuck? Hey, that's a microaggression! See? There you go. Everyone's capable of committing such horrible acts, dude. And I think they're RPing this, but still. You understand? Part of the reason why they're RPing that
Hassel, thanks for
is
the amazing
because
coverage.
it's a very commonplace thing. So even in the safe space, they're experiencing, you know, not so safe microaggressions, guys. Look at that.
Not a big fan of Thanksgiving. What you were taught for Thanksgiving is an absolute lie. It was a massacre.
So the first thing we noticed is that none of us really felt immediately connected to each other.
Another thing that we could agree on as a group is that white privilege is very dominant in our culture.
Another thing we wanted to take into consideration was taking accountability, and just by making space for those that we have affected.
Throughout the week, the energy would volley between the kumbaya atmosphere of smiles, hugs, and giggles, and uncomfortable conversations that created some tense moments.
Content warning. There will be some derogatory language as well as violence.
Tonight we watched a bunch of skits about prejudice and how it's like a domino effect, how it starts with preconditioning and eventually leads to genocide.
Anytown staff asked us not to film these skits, but what we saw was kind of heavy. Counselors acted out some racist scenarios, some of which were loosely based on real experience.
This is real life for these folks that you know personally now.
We are crying because we just experienced this for the first time.
You have a right as a human being to not be okay with the way Black people are treated.
It gets me angry. It gives me all these emotions that I hate feeling.
I'm not gonna sit here and put my life on display in order to educate you.
Other unaffiliated Anytowns have been accused of the skits being a bit too immersive. Here in Arizona, it got emotional, but most people seem to think what they saw was worth a conversation.
Holy shit, what are they doing? They're just like ripping, bro, they're just ripping the N-word, like, maybe a little too comfortably. How the fuck do you turn around from that and then, like, end up feeling safe? That's kind of crazy. Someone said liberal midsommar. Okay, this turned into a weird place. They use Gusano with a hard O. Stop.
I'd imagine, you know, there's some folks that would look at what you're doing and say, man, they taking them kids up there at the top of that mountain and they indoctrinating them. All of that conversation around race and all of this is divisive.
These conversations don't divide, they actually unite because you get through the BS.
In high school, have you had any kind of conversations close to what you've experienced here at camp?
Never. I've talked about race, but not to this level, not in the way that everyone is checked for the privileges that they have and don't.
I'm learning things here as a 19-year-old that I should have knew already.
In all 18 years of my life, I have not heard almost everything I've heard at this camp.
It's been an emotional ride. It's been really eye-opening, and I'm grateful for it.
I feel that in some way it is, in a way, trying to inflict some shame with how its programs are. I don't think it's intentional. I wouldn't say that that's at all what they're trying to do, but with some of the programs here, it can appear that way.
Y'all going too fast to sit speed limit is 15.
Do you really believe this place is making a difference?
Yeah, we're chiseling away at these things. We might not see a demand, but we're leaving it better for the people that come after us.
Yeah, I mean, dude, just do a fucking Hasanabi camp, dude. You know what I'm saying? Please do a series of IRL streams at this place. I mean, you know what this is? Honestly, this is like this is like Jesus camp, but for the gospel of anti-racism, I guess, where like it's cool